Party. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
And today we're playing Dungeon Party. Welcome back to the Winter Spectacular. I'm looking for my sheets here for the Winter Spectacular because I suspect there's a contest going on. So I should go off that. Thank you, Roy. All right, there is a contest for this. You can win a copy of this game, 2 of these copies worldwide. All you have to do to enter this is to email us at contest@dicetower.com, and in the subject line put the word. What word? What are we flipping in this game here?
Oh.
What? No, that's illegal. That wasn't a trick question. The coin. So our subject word for this is the word
Coin.
I feel like I'm doing a Sesame Street. Today, C stands for coin. Anyway, so right now you can buy this game at Barnes & Noble, and I know this for sure because the copy we're playing here came from Barnes & Noble. It's Barnes & Noble, not Nobles.
It is.
I say that wrong all the time.
You do indeed.
I thought it was a novel.
You would say it more correctly if you read more. You know where you can do that? At Barnes & Noble.
This is not advertising.
Not a sponsor. Barnes & Noble. Good.
All right, so welcome to the last block here of the Winter Spectacular. We're going to be playing this game here, and then after we've lost, and I feel like it's safe to say we're going to lose this game because we've been practicing. And we're going to lose. Then we have a bunch of top 10s to close out the day, so there's plenty more content coming. But first, let's lose. Well, we can all try to win together. We're going to be going through this big stack of tiles here, trying to flip coins onto them to win the game. Now, how do we do that? We do that with our heroes. So I'm going to show you the hero of the game right now is this gentleman here. How do I know he's the hero? Because that's his name. The hero. He has 7 hit points up here. And we're gonna use a die to keep track of our hit points.
Oh, okay, But yours he's so good you need more than 1.
That's correct.
Amazing.
He also gets +2 damage to Z. Oh, evil. And yeah.
I get it.
He also has a special heroic. He's +2 damage when his hit points are less than 3. And he's immune to traps and curses. Who could be better than him?
Me.
All right.
Probably.
A half-elf magic user. +2 damage to magical, and you have magic missiles. +2 damage, invincibility, no damage when you miss until you're the last player in a battle.
Nice.
So I might be the last person to die. Maybe.
All right, Violet, what do you got?
Maybe.
You're a full elf.
Yeah.
An archer. +2 damage to slow and primitive. +2 damage to flame arrow. +4 versus slimes, trolls, and treemen. Lightning bow, you get +3. You get 3 attacks.
And the best one of them all.
The human bard.
Yes.
+2 damage to large. And you can remove curse on a heads. Song of Inspiration, all players heal 1 hit point, and curses are removed. You can help all the rest of us.
Yes.
Now, folks, we practice here that we're going to be we're playing on a hardwood table because we found the coins bounce a little bit better than off of our things. That's going to make our voices bounce a bit more. So let me quick talk about the special abilities here. We each have a bonus effect, which I mentioned here, and each character has a bonus effect and special powers and more. So we'll talk about that when it happens, I suppose. So the first thing we're going to do when we go, I made this dungeon up. So I drew a tile that told me how to put the dungeon together, which is over here. So I'm going to show this. We're playing the Great Dungeon Panic. And so this said, do 3 level 1s, then 1 level 2, then 3 level 2s, then 3 level 4s, then 1 level 5, then the boss, which are the members of Bad. All right, so.
Members of Bad, I like it.
All right, so the first room that we're going to is a small dungeon room. Level 1. It has nothing. There's no effects.
Okay, good.
How random was that? We're fighting in here some imps. Imps have 6 hit points. They are a type demon. They have no special ability. And they, so you'll notice they hit us for 1. So we're going to throw a coin at them 1 at a time. We're going to bounce it off the table. If we hit them, we do our damage. If we miss, they do their damage to us.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We keep going. If we all die, we lose the game. All right?
Is there one heal?
But if
What's his health? 2?
6.
6.
Well, it only means we only need to hit him 3 times.
Only.
Do we have?
Only?
We do. Oh yeah, we do 2 damage, right?
Oh,
Does
I
anybody
didn't
have a plus thing on demons?
Violet.
+2 on demons?
I have slimes, trolls, and tree men.
No.
When the monsters hit, we're going to keep track of that with this 6-sided die. I mean, it's 20-sided die because the monsters go above 6 hit points.
Ah!
You can use one of your special abilities. You can only use it once per encounter. So once per encounter, I can be like, I'm using my special ability.
Okay, got it.
So you have a pretty good one. Of course, you know when you use it, you're going to miss. Right? Oh yeah, this is the treasure that you get if you win.
But the special you can just do, like Song of Inspiration, all players heal 1 HP, and all curses are removed. That just happens, right?
Yes.
I don't have to make it.
No, but you can only do it once.
I'm all over it. Don't worry about it.
Alrighty. Well, one of us is going to go first.
Not it. I'm a bard. I'm a human bard.
Fine,
I'll be in the back being like,
I'll go first.
like that. My flute is very distinct. It's very different. It doesn't sound like a flute at all.
You know, I've thrown this coin like 30 times.
This time you'll make it first try. I'm telling you right now.
All right.
Go
Here we
ahead.
go.
Show
If I
us how
miss, it's
done.
only 1 hit point, and I have 7.
Leave my queen alone.
This is how it goes.
All right, so I'm down to 6 hit points. All right, Ruby, your turn.
Okay.
Hit it, Ruby. Nope.
You take 1 hit.
What? I thought invisibility, right?
Well, that's it. Are you using your special ability?
Oh, only once. Never mind.
Am I supposed to just try?
Yes.
Hi.
You can just go be.
Am I allowed to do that?
Well,
It's got to bounce once outside.
Yeah,
though,
it's just
right?
got to bounce once. So, I mean.
Yay!
Hold up.
Now just 2 more times.
Do we take that one off?
Yeah, take yours off.
Okay. I hit it. Yeah.
Take a damage. All right.
Come on, Tom. Get right up on it.
Yeah,
That counts. It's
If
on
it's
it.
half on, it's on.
It's
That
on
looks
and
at.
up.
Good enough.
2. It's down to 2 hit points. Now, whoever does the final blow gets to keep the monster's treasure.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
All right.
We're being,
They said I could do that.
we're being taken to school, Tom. We are being taken
All
to
right, you
school.
have a flaming sword. It's worth 3 points at the end of the game. So when we get a treasure, you get the treasure coaster. You can keep it or give it to anyone else. Some treasures can give a benefit to player who owns it, but you only get it if you are a fighter or a ranger.
Are you a raider or ranger? Can I have it?
Are you a ranger?
I don't know.
Wait. Yeah, I think she is. She has a bow.
Archer.
Well, I have a
How
bow,
do you-
so-
how are you-
I'm a fighter.
How do you tell? If
I'm an archer.
I'm
How
a
do you know?
bard or archer. And,
I'm a magic user?
Yeah, you're a magic user. So you can keep this or give it to somebody else. It's worth
I
3
can keep
points at the
that?
end. Well, you can just keep it. You can stick it in your backpack and not let anyone else use it.
Yeah.
Can you use it? I don't think. Maybe none of us can use it. Actually,
I'm a
you.
fighter. I can definitely
you
use
can
it.
use it,
Shut up.
Tom.
Well, too
Sorry.
bad. You can't even make.
Violet got a hit.
Sorry, you gotta
Oh,
get good before you get a reward.
I don't understand. I don't think y'all understand the cooperative nature of this. All right.
Oh.
Well, I was being cooperative. I gave it to someone who
Alright.
could use it.
Trap. Oh yeah, I'll put it here. All right. So this is a sticky floor. Every miss results in double damage.
What?
What?
Every miss results in double damage.
We didn't.
You said what? Let's see what the monster is. Kobolds.
Okay, good. Thank goodness it's only 1 damage.
They're primitive. Is anyone good
Oh.
against primitive?
Yeah, somebody
No.
is.
Oh, wow, you're good against primitive, right? You're +2 against
Yeah.
primitive.
Yeah.
+2 damage to that.
Only
Kill
5.
them!
All right, so Violet, I mean Ruby, you're the hero. You start because you did the final blow.
Ha ha
Oh no.
ha. Have fun.
Oh, we also all heal up when the battle's over.
Oh, like fully?
Yes.
Oh. Good.
Oops.
Double damage.
At this point, it was gonna be like,
No, it has to bounce off the table.
She knows that.
It's just.
Go.
Hit it! Woo!
that counts.
If you hit him, you can get the item.
So it's like 4, right?
Cat.
Oh, that's right. You get the extra bonus to it. The kobold only has 5. Oh no, you're giving Z a chance to do the finishing blow.
If I hit it,
Don't
I
worry,
win
he's
it.
gonna fail.
Yeah. Are we allowed to just go?
No, I'm a horrible bard.
Here's a coin.
Our bards supposed to be good at
Take
this.
2 damage.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm at 3.
Wait, you start at 5?
I have 5.
Oh, you're terrible.
Holy
I'm
cow.
a bard.
I only have 5.
Exactly. Why are you even in the?
Is that half on?
That is not
Good enough.
No, it's not good enough.
Oh, come on.
Let him get
Why
it.
did we need it?
All right.
Oh, he's
No,
getting
no, Bob made the call.
He gets the win. It's
Mama
not
made the
fair.
call.
I don't want him to
You
win.
want me to lose more than you want anyone to win?
Well, you're gonna get a sword or
Oh.
something.
All right, came back
I'm
to you,
currently
Bob.
at 2.
Here I go.
Hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Shush.
This is it.
Why did you let it count? We could have been done with this already.
Shush.
It was
you're
on
dead.
momentarily.
He could have caught. Let it
I think
I
you're
take
dead.
2
No,
more.
you
I'm
got
down to 1 life.
All right, we got you.
I'm at 2.
Help me.
Okay, don't miss it, or you're dead.
Love this.
Okay, wait. I can do my special. Look, can I do it now?
Yes.
What is it?
It's all players heal 1 HP and all curses are removed.
I don't have any curses. Wow.
Well, but I know, but some
Thanks.
people need the help.
Well, you're gonna die either way.
Specifically, you and me.
okay,
no.
you keep throwing it straight at the table. It's not
Quiet. At least I'm not dead. Thank you.
Okay, I got this.
I did that, Tom. I healed that necessary point. Oh no!
All right, just don't mess up here.
Ah! The bard did something for once.
All right, you got a
Good
free
job,
attack.
Bard.
Wait, what do I get? A web?
A web. This only can go to a magic user, though.
Are you a
Oh.
magic user?
It gives us 1 free attack per round.
Who's a magic user?
Well, I'm pretty sure Ruby is. She has
That's it. That's where it's
Give
going.
me. Mine now.
All right. Well, the kobolds are dead. I don't know that we should feel. All right, let's see what
We
happens.
heal up, right?
Yep. All right. This is a trapped treasure.
Oh,
Which
put
means,
it up there.
oh yeah, once we get to the end here, the treasure that we find will be trapped.
Oh.
Meanwhile, we're fighting rat men.
Wait, what's her damage? Oh no.
They do 2 and they have 7 hit points. But they're
Nature.
nature type. Anyone good against nature?
How come I do well against tree man and trolls and slimes, but nature is like a no-go for me?
I don't know what a no-go means anyway. You got a flaming sword. Hit it.
Yeah, okay. Too bad it's not a troll or slime or tree man. Would have done more.
I'm gonna put out a rat trap. Sing a song to make the rat sleepy. Cheese.
I'm gonna use my lightning bow.
We were at the pet store yesterday and Jimmy was looking at the mice and then we saw the rats and he's like, what is that?
What is this particularly large mouse?
It's, yeah, when you see them side by side, it's not even
No,
close.
not even close.
I'm gonna use
Mice
my
are like,
lightning
oh, mice are annoying. You see a rat, you're like, move.
But then guinea pigs are cute again, so
Not
look
all of them. There was a hairless guinea pig. Have you seen that?
no.
It's gross. All right, go ahead.
I'm
It's like a rat.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
With
use
big
my
ears.
Mice at Petco are cute though.
I'm gonna
Like, I
use
like
my
to watch
lightning bow. Let's hope this hits. Hopefully. Come on, it's not hard.
It is hard, apparently.
Throw me that.
No, you got a coin right in front of you.
Where? Ah!
Did you take your damage? 2 damage?
Oh, I almost forgot to heal up. Okay. 2
Okay.
damage. 3. Gonna die.
Here
Boy,
we go.
I would feel really
You know
good
what?
if I had a
I
flaming
just
sword
wanna-
right now, is what I'm saying.
Violet also has 5 health.
Oh! The bard is back.
Did you do anything?
How much damage
I
you
did
do?
2 damage, right?
Yep.
job.
All right. So he's down to 5.
That's it? That's where I start.
Really glad I'm using this 20-sided die to keep track. All right.
Get a spin down life counter kind of thing. That'd be easier. Come on, get good. I've shown that it's possible.
That's 2 more. Is he evil? He's not. All right. Fine.
No, he's a wonderful guy. I want to invite him over. Come raid my cheeses.
No!
Take your 2 damage. Are you dead yet?
Okay.
Yes, you have some. You really
I'm
think I
gonna
have
use
2
the
health.
sword.
You can't use a sword. You're not that type.
It's a ranger.
Then why did I get? Yeah, it's
You're
fight
not a ranger.
But she's an archer.
Archers and rangers, very different things. If you go down to the state park here, do you see archers working there? But you will see forest rangers.
Oh.
Oh!
Why
I
did you
thought
say that?
rangers
We
were
kept
just
asking you.
archers.
Pulled
You
it
said
off.
nothing.
I thought archers
It
were.
worked. No,
I thought
That's,
archers were rangers,
yeah.
but with that long range.
It worked. I'm gonna go ahead and give you that one.
yes.
Yeah.
Is that a
yeah,
lie?
yeah.
Then why did
No,
I
no,
get
it's
not a
true.
lie,
It's not a
true.
ranger.
It's true. It's just a sideways misdirection.
A ranger is what that's called. Yes.
Rangers are often archers, but they're not always archers. They just live in the woods, and they're really good at.
Yeah, all those
Fighting
people who
woodland
work at the
creatures.
park, they live in the woods.
No.
They're all
I'm just
homeless,
gonna-
technically speaking.
I'm just gonna try and hit it.
I'm trying
Let's
to just
do
help
this.
your cause here. I'm trying to reinforce what you're saying.
That doesn't count, does it?
Well,
Please!
It would have normally, except you're the one who made mine didn't count.
You want
So
to change the rule now?
No
I have one.
way!
I have one. Here we go.
take the damage.
All right, I'm almost dead.
Wait. Oh, you already.
What?
Here we go, Tom.
No, she's a special person.
That's a miss.
You were just giving me the coin.
Yes, right.
All right. So if
Got
you
this.
die, you're not out of the game. It's only if we all die. If you
Ooh.
die, you're out of the round.
Okay. Yes!
Yeah!
Down to 1.
Ruby, you got this.
I don't, but thank you.
Try.
Why do you keep throwing the coin straight down? Let me show you angles. It's boom forward. All right.
Boom forward.
can't.
I'm gonna.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Did you die?
No,
Okay.
I'm not true. It literally says it right there. It's not your turn.
Is
It is.
I
It
thought
is.
she was out of the round.
I'm not dead
you're still
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're
he's
dead.
What would happen if it bounced off the wall and miraculously landed into that? Why did you stop it?
Okay, good point. The ranger killed it.
Yay!
That's it.
You-
What do I
The
get?
I thought
treasure's
he was a
trapped.
bard.
What?
Somebody
Give it to
has.
somebody else.
Now anyone can do it. We have to get a coin on it. If we fail, we take the damage for the trap.
What's the okay? Do we all get one throw or something?
Where is the trap treasure? Just 1 damage. It's not too bad.
I could do
Oh
it.
no,
You
wait. The
have the
treasure's.
highest
We
health, you do
disarm
it.
it. You killed it, so you can disarm it, or you can ask someone else to disarm it.
Uh-huh.
You have the
If
highest
successful, you get the treasure. If you fail, the treasure is destroyed. That's it. If you're a thief, you get 2 attempts.
If you're a thief, you get 2 attempts.
Who's
Yes.
a thief?
We don't have any thieves,
You
do
have
we?
the
We
highest
do not.
health. You
We
do
brought in
it.
an incomplete party.
Yeah!
Oh, baby!
All right, show me what the bard got.
The bard got that. What did I get?
A urinal. No, unnatural. Removes the negative effect of a room. You can use it once to get rid of.
It's a druid spell, though.
Who here is a druid?
We don't have any druids.
Great, you got 4 points.
That's 3 points, right?
Yes. Next, we're surprised in a hallway. You need to spin around when you attack.
What? Surprised in a hallway.
You're
Wait,
gonna have to stand
spin
up and
around?
spin around when you attack.
Like,
But here's the good news: we're fighting a level 2 hobgoblins.
Like at what speed?
They're primitive.
Daddy, what speed do
Ooh,
they want us to
primitive.
spin at?
So can I just go? Like,
Yes. All right, Z, you're first. Okay, you can tell my daughters are rules lawyers.
Hack! Okay.
I really
Come
like
on, Tom.
that.
You gotta make a noise, too.
Oh wait, do we refill our health?
Yes.
Thank you.
Turn around.
Sorry.
Didn't you lose health?
I
Every
thought
night
we
and
were
day.
supposed to stand up.
We're saying table. We don't want to mess up the microphones.
Come on.
Really? Mine's in my pocket.
It's harder
Mine's in my
than you
pocket,
thought it
is that
was.
Like at what speed do we spin though?
You know what?
To kind of overdo it.
We do whatever
It's
we do.
fine.
So I just move around and then throw it.
Yes.
1 second.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's gonna work.
This is gonna be dangerous. I'm holding my unnatural room up as a shield.
Maybe you needed to. Wait. All right. Did everyone get hit for 2 on that?
Yeah.
All right, Val. You need to kill this thing.
Please.
Oh, you're acting as if I can actually
Wait,
do this.
it's an 8?
Oh, it's primitive. Good for me.
It's an 8!
Primitive is good, yeah. Although the slow spin is great. Slow-mo camera engage.
Yes.
That works. The Michael Bay special. That's the Michael Bay special right there. I love it.
It's +2 since it's primitive, so it's like 4 damage.
4 damage to it.
You're good at fighting primitive stuff. Some of us fight.
All right, here I go.
Word.
Get that guy a little closer, man.
All right.
Wait, no, buddy, you're right there.
Mine didn't fly across the board.
Okay, here we go.
At least I didn't go slow-mo. It said spin, not half speed.
Okay, give me a coin.
Come on.
All right, I'm gonna do
Why'd
the
you
ruby
flip it
thing.
over? Be quiet.
It's like a discus.
Be quiet. And you sucked at it too.
I should have done this slow-mo thing, because apparently that's the way to kill it.
Did I also take a
Okay,
hit on
my
mine?
turn.
Okay, go, Ruby. You got this.
Now I do.
Okay.
But you only do 2 damage, so
Did
it's
it
still
bounce?
alive.
Did it bounce?
It bounced
sure.
outside, yeah.
You know what? I don't remember. Let's go. All right, your turn. There's still 2
coin.
hit points
We
left.
are like
sure.
the loophole champions.
The loophole warriors, that's what they call us.
I like that.
I
That's a
said
good name for a
champion.
tribe. Yeah, like a party.
Warrior champion.
Stop laughing. You're distracting
love
me.
it.
You're
That's
distracting
great.
me. It's not my
Here I
fault.
go.
I love how you have to specific.
You tried.
All right. Are you dead?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, you are?
Missed every shot.
The fast thing didn't work either.
I like that one.
Oh, wait, what was my
That
health
was
at? I was
good.
4, right?
Here, Ruby,
Slow
you got
motion
this.
is saving
You got
us.
this, Ruby.
Slow motion is where it's
You
at.
got this.
It's a good thing, because we still have the dispensing tiles to go through. We can't all die
Wait, how
here.
mu- That?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is level 2. We haven't even got the level.
I should have
Okay.
done
You
slow
went too
mo.
fast. You went too fast, Ruby.
I should have gone.
Yeah, learn from the master. Slow-mo.
Here it is. Matrix.
I was going to say the Wachowskis.
I should have aimed better.
Are you dead over there?
Yes.
I'm dead,
All
yeah.
right.
I really like
on,
this.
I'm
This
gonna
is
try-
a lot of fun.
I'm going to try my speed.
Come
I'm
on.
going to try my speed maneuvering.
Okay, I like
No,
it.
it's not
better
gonna
than-
work. Stop it.
Why? You could have done better if you had just gone slower.
I'm still alive, though, so you know what?
my
That
God,
extra hit point I have over Z is...
Come on, Ruby. You got this. Just hit it once. Why are you dead yet?
Yes! 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 Perfectly legal! Body slam! I like that. That counts as a body slam. Absolutely.
Oh my word.
That counts.
Legal! Somebody said in the chat, they can tell we don't play quarters. Yeah, we don't gamble
Look at
here.
the rules. It doesn't say
It's the
anything
rules.
against it.
We're taking it. Rue, you get a cleanse. Removes. There's another druid, so never mind. We need to bring a druid to the party next time.
Yeah.
All right, next room.
Oh my
do we
word,
got?
I'm dying.
It's a hallway.
Hallway, okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's not bad. There's no special rules. A fire elemental. He hits you for 4.
Oh
Oh
my.
no.
Holy
He's
cow.
fire and magic. Is anyone good at that?
6.
How's he not large?
Oh, yes, I
also,
am.
he needs to be large
I'm at 2+ damage too.
and in charge.
Good, because you're
What's
first.
his health?
Hit it.
9. What on earth?
Are you kidding?
Can we keep spinning, or are we done
Don't
with
do
the
that, you're
We're
spin?
done with the spinning. Although we seem to do a little. Well,
Do
you
it
didn't,
close,
but
please.
No, I did not.
I kind of want to do the spin thing again where I'm just saying.
go ahead, do the spin thing again. I'm gonna do the maneuvering.
I want to do the. No, try to land it right on there. Now it's like a special move.
Ah!
Almost.
You should have
Almost.
Doesn't work. Take your 4 damage.
I'm
4
almost dead.
damage.
Yep, you got 2 shots
Violet,
at
don't
this.
miss.
Come on, I can do this. Just.
What?
Were you about to throw the coin at her?
We got
I
it.
feel like you were about to throw a coin at your
Here we go.
sister.
I might have, if I wanted to.
You got this. Just hit it.
Yeah!
I chopped off one of his toes.
Aren't you
It's a fire elemental.
You're at one, right? Yes, you are
you
at
spit
one.
something out.
Fire toe. Disgusting.
Well, that's one way to fight a fire elemental.
So what's he take? He takes some hits.
Yeah, you did him for 2. He's down to 7.
That's it? Great.
Well, you didn't take a hit.
No, I didn't. That's true.
Oh, wow, I love this.
Come on now.
You got this.
I'm going for the granny bowling maneuver. That's true.
Yes, yes. Do it. Yes, that works.
That is good enough!
That is the mantra of my life.
I'm out.
That is good enough.
I'm like a bard singing a melody and the fighter comes on. They're like, that's good enough. I feel slightly refreshed.
That will do, fighter.
Got it.
Okay, it has to
That's
bounce
it.
to the table first. You're dead.
That was the reverse.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, got this.
Can I have my fire sword yet?
No.
Can I just give it to you?
You could have given it to me a long time ago.
Why haven't we done this then?
Do you want it? You can have it.
I gave it to her because I thought she was a ranger.
I don't want it. That's the way you're
You
gonna
want it, you can have it. If you can find it.
If that's the way you're
Oh,
gonna
yes,
be,
I
I don't
take
want
it
it
now.
anymore.
Okay.
You got this. Come on.
Who's plus 2 to
Actually,
this?
Matt, it's 3 points at
Ruby.
the end of the game.
Oh, you're the one who's plus 2 to it? Are you dead?
Yes.
No, yes.
Are you dead?
No.
Got it.
That's
Right.
2 hits.
We need to hit it
Can
2
I
more
heal
times.
people then? I
Yeah.
can do that, right?
Yeah.
All players heal 1 HP and all curses are removed. So,
Yeah.
Do anything.
Am I alive again?
sure, why not?
You're back!
I am
It
alive.
was merely a flesh wound.
Wait, how many times did I get hit? I got hit once, so I'm at 5. All right.
Hey!
It's
Did I
dead.
kill it?
That, yes!
I won that treasure. Better be for a bard.
It's for anybody.
Oh!
Once per
Allows-
round, you can attack twice.
That's mine.
Oh!
Boots of speed.
That's mine.
Well, in the picture you look short.
It's not
so
hands of
that's
speed. That's not how boots of speed work.
Those are my toes. Actually, my hands are over here clapping, and my toes are playing the flute. I'm a flexible bard.
Give me the stupid fire elemental. He's dead. All right, next room. Trap. Collapsing floor. All players bounce their coin on this coaster within 5 seconds. The player, the furthest coin from the coaster, takes 3 damage.
Play in the center of the table, hurry.
Do we have?
Go!
Okay, just fast. Yeah, you have to get.
With
What's
it?
it?
Wait, but we needed to remember where his was.
Well,
because-
just, it was there. Yours is here. Your
All right,
last so
go.
far.
What?
Go.
Yeah.
I was not last!
Yes, you were.
That was you. Take 3 damage.
even.
3 damage.
I'm dead! Wait,
No,
no, that was
you
a new
healed.
encounter.
No, we
Good
healed.
job.
We're starting over again.
You
All right,
healed.
we're fighting an Earth Elemental. He only hits us for 3.
Is he large?
He is.
No. How is he not large? Look at him. He looks like a beefy yeti.
9?
I don't understand.
He's fat, I believe. Is.
Come
right.
on.
All right, level 3.
Okay, so
All
when
right,
you
who
said
killed the last one?
when you said we
That's
could
me,
use our
baby.
ability once per encounter, does that mean like per battle
yes,
or the
per
entire
battle.
thing?
Here I go.
You need to do this
I thought it meant the
invincibility.
entire thing.
Invisibility,
I thought it
right?
meant
Not
the entire
invincibility.
thing.
Once you have magic missiles, you've never used this. All right, go ahead.
All right, here I go.
Once per game.
All right.
Okay, and I get to go again.
Oh, you're using boots of speed right now?
Don't I just get to keep using it?
It's once per round.
Oh, sure, why not? Once per level, basically. Come on, it hit the lip!
Yes.
I hit him in the lip. Does that count?
Speedy boot.
Actually, what's it say on the treasure?
Allows owner to attack twice.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Every single time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, you already attacked twice?
3 times.
All right. Did you miss both times?
Yes.
Did you take the damage both times?
Oh,
Quick, use your healing power. All
okay. I'm at 1 then, I think.
right, here we go. Ready?
Irby, heal one.
Oh.
Wait, how did you already
No,
lose health?
sorry.
Use your
Four now.
boots of speed.
No,
Oh,
sorry, I'm
you don't
supposed to
have any boots of speed.
4. You have 4.
All right.
Violet, this
you
guy
lost-
is 9 damage.
You lost health.
I never.
No, he does
played.
3, right? He
You
takes
lost at the
10.
beginning.
never-
At the beginning.
Yeah, remember you
lost
did the
the
trap?
The
I'm
trap.
at 3. That's 4, Violet. Do math.
Yeah, but then he healed everyone for 1 more. And
Oh,
now you're at
yeah.
4.
Do math is what I heard.
All All right, here we go. Boots of speed.
I'm gonna do that thing that you did earlier.
Oh, the granny. The granny. All right, go ahead.
That's a really bad way to throw it.
I got close. Don't blame.
Why were you doing this?
Okay, I'll use my special.
All
No
right,
damage
Violet.
when I miss.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna use my lightning bow. Please
Oh wait,
hit.
does this last until for the entire battle?
Let me use my lightning bow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Okay, let me just.
All right, Z, you have your 1 hit point.
Basically,
I have 1, which means I won't be able to really use it twice, but maybe if I do it really quickly. And the 1 health.
No, if you hit the first time.
Here, I'll move it closer to you.
Yeah.
Hit
Okay,
it, Bard.
Here we go.
Have we hit it all?
That's a hit.
Okay, that counts.
I'm counting
That's
that.
good enough.
That's a hit. Here we go again. That's
Wait, are you the only person that hit it so far?
Yes,
anyone else hit it?
absolutely.
No.
All right, so it's at 8. Great.
Are you dead?
No.
I'm
Why
out.
I'm
did you
at
pass?
4.
I've dropped to the floor. That is fantastic.
That's not just good enough. It's good enough.
Oh, just good. So I went from good enough to good.
No, you got good enough.
Then I get the good job.
Little
And
more
then-
than good enough.
Pretty good.
Pretty good is after
Then
that.
quite good, which is confusing depending which side of the Atlantic
Yeah,
you're
that's
on.
true.
Wait, just
Quite
remember
good.
me.
It's not complicated. Be
Hit it.
quiet.
You
Okay,
can do lots
fine,
of
I got it.
damage. Hit it.
I can? Oh,
Yeah.
yay, great.
Oh my!
All right. Are you dead? You're dead. Okay, so
Oh
you and me about
word!
it. You and me about it.
Wait, what? I don't take any damage until I'm the
Oh, that's right. Till you're the last person in.
Woo.
That's convenient.
You don't take any damage until you're the last one?
Yep.
That's amazing.
That's too broken.
I'm over here just like taking
Also,
a
I
dive
get
every
+2
time a
damage.
monster shows up. I'm
Wait,
like,
was that just the first time?
Because he hit you, he
he
swings.
doesn't even hit me. I'm like, I see him. I play
No, I
possum. Immediately, like this
I'm
bar
dead.
plays possum.
Violet's dead. Why'd you throw it in here, though? This
A
is
good
gross.
skilled person would have hit the thing. It would have. You would have hit it. It would have bounced towards me. Then this would have continued and come in my hand.
Wow. Yes. Oh, terrible.
I'm still alive.
Ruby. Come on, Ruby, come on. Hit it, please. Wait, stop throwing it the wrong way. It's not gonna come out of your hand that way.
Are you sure you're not left-handed?
I made it.
Nope. We're not blatantly cheating. We're just
Quiet.
we're towing the line.
Come on, you can do it.
Wait, I thought it was Violet's turn. Are they
Come
both
on.
I
dead?
died.
We're both
Okay,
out.
everyone's
Yeah.
dead but you. You now take damage.
Shoot.
All right, you have to hit it 3 times in a row.
This is it. This is the one. I can feel it. Oh.
Are you
Okay.
bad?
All right, so we died.
Oh my word.
Well, it's about time for us to end anyway. So let's show what we would have gotten. +2 damage for a whole battle. Then we would have gone into the next large cavern where there was another trapped treasure.
You know,
Fighting the
I could have
manticore.
used these.
Ooh, a manticore?
I could have used these and saved us.
Oh,
I chose not
look
to.
at this. It looks like an angry dwarf or
You
something.
can't use those.
Yes,
But
I
then you
could.
would have got
Well, I can
fly.
use this.
Magic users may escape from a battle. You're like, hey!
It's Iron Man. Look at him. He looks like Iron Man. He takes off.
Then
Oh, my goodness.
the next one would have done a psychic blast. We would have to cover our hand.
Cover your brain with both hands.
Your brain?
And shout, my brain! Right before attacking.
The phoenix, when we kill it, it comes back to life with 6 hit points.
Whoa.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but I'm not fighting
And he
that.
gives you a spooky idol, which doesn't do anything other than give 2 points.
Okay, cool.
What?
Dizziness gas, you have to go around 4 times before attacking.
Wait, what? Oh, it's green.
Unless disarmed.
It looks better than this.
But then you gotta fight the ogre, or the oni.
There's a large one, finally.
Yeah, but it has
Yeah, it's
15.
15, dude.
I can do it.
If you hit him with this tail side of the coin, though, you miss, and you do your damage to the person on your left.
Oh.
What?
Alright, this protects from all curses. Great.
What's a curse
Anti-magic
anyway?
field, can't use magic items in the next room, and where you fight the Hydra. Ooh. The Hydra.
It's a large.
Yes.
You gotta get that
I got a
shield
bonus,
code.
Tom.
But it also has 14.
You're gonna get that.
But then you
shield
would get
code.
the Spirit Shield. Funhouse of Doom. You must switch your current damage and hit point values. That's where the
Excuse
boss
me?
is. And the boss is the members are bad. They do frivolous lawsuits.
Bothered about dungeon delvers. That's what it is.
It just means you can't get hit at all.
Hey, but if you beat that, you get virtue, and you would get 1 hit point. And that's just some of the tiles, folks. There's a whole lot putting them in together. All right, hopefully that gives you a taste of what Dungeon Party is like. That's the last bit of live stuff, but folks, do not leave. We got many top 10s. In fact, we're starting with the top 5 of Ruby and Violet, which is going to happen just now. And then we got a few more, and then we'll end with what makes gaming good. I think a whole hour of content coming your way, folks. An hour and 39 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot left. So we'll see that. And then we'll start up again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with Shoots and Marbles! Winter Spectacular. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
Have fun fighting monsters. Hey, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
And we're here to talk about Violet and Ruby's top 5 of 2021. Their favorite games, wildly different lists, maybe. We'll see. All right. Well, you guys played, I think, you played 33 different games this year, and you played 42 because you play more games than Violet does. How does that make you feel?
Oh, shush. It's probably like 5 and under games or something.
Ooh. 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 All right, Violet, we'll start with you. Well, tell us what your number 5 is.
Bullet Heart.
All right, well, there was no lead up to that. Well, I like this one because of, Bullet Heart.
You did not prepare me for this.
All right, well, what's your favorite? Why do you like Bullet Heart?
Okay, number 1. I like the art style a lot.
Yes.
Fair enough. Anime.
Shush. I like the concept of the game. I like the strategy. And I was truly enjoying it. I haven't really seen many games like that at all. I like the music part, but it's kind of a pain setting it up.
Well, you don't have to play the music part. You just need to have a timer.
And I like how I don't have to like wait forever for Ruby to decide what she wants to do.
Because it's all...
You better hurry, otherwise you're gonna lose.
All right, well, that being said, there's an expansion coming for Bullet Heart called Bullet Star.
Yay.
All right, so Bullet Heart, I don't think, made your list, but I know it was really close to making your list.
Yes.
Was your number 6, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Well, what is your number 5?
No, wrong one. Seven Wonders Architects. Sorry.
All right, Seven Wonders Architects. So Seven Wonders Architects, a game about drafting and building your own monument of the world. Why do you like it?
Well, I like how everything fits nicely in the box. The covers.
That's not a great reason to like a game, but I get it.
It is nice.
She has to organize it. Of course she's gonna like that part.
Ah. Speaking
Plus,
of which,
the
I have a
gameplay
pile.
is nice. It's a lot of fun playing. I probably would play it again if you ever brought any games home ever.
Actually, I'm thinking about putting this one on our shelves so that you can play with other people because it's a really easy game to pick up and play.
Yeah, that's another thing I like about it. It's quick and easy to play. When I looked at that game, I was like, this game will probably last like 2 hours or something. But no, it's a lot faster than expected.
In fact, it's the only game on either of your lists that we could play with your friends.
That is true.
So, all right, well, maybe we'll get that one. That one didn't make your list.
It didn't even make my top 9.
Wow.
Wow. All right,
She
well,
is picky.
let's go to your
I
number
am.
4.
Okay. This game. What is it? Okay.
Oh, just say the name of the game and then we'll...
Destinies.
Destinies. This is a game in which you go around and fight rats or werewolves or demons. Or
Diseases.
all sorts of things, and you scan stuff with this game. So you're scanning and moving around, and it's for 1 to 3 players. Coincidentally, there's 3 of us, and you go through different stories. Why'd you like it?
The story part was fun. I enjoyed the first story the most.
The werewolves?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones were just like everyone's dying again.
Again.
Well, you should care about people.
The one about the diseases was kind of confusing. Like, suddenly there's this big epidemic, and now there's this woman who is apparently the disease in the town? Where did that come from?
Don't spoil it. I don't remember. You're not spoiled.
I liked the part where I like interacting with people and what you do with them. If you fail something, this is what happens, and it would change the outcome of what would happen next, like, what if you talk to this person, and if you were nice to them, you get, like, money or something. I don't know.
Money.
Yeah, but what I did like about this, it has a really good check for skill checks. You roll a bunch of dice, and you're trying to get below certain numbers. And if you do that, or you're trying to get above these certain numbers, and you're moving these down, the cubes down. So you can move one cube all the way down to the bottom, and you'll always get one pass. But you might want to move multiple cubes down to get multiple passes. It was a fun mechanism. This is one that did not make your list, did it?
No.
All right.
It's a
Well,
good game, though.
I don't know. I just kind of. felt
And you
like-
say I'm picky.
all right. Well, let's see what your number 4 is. What is your number 4?
Sleeping Gods.
So this is another storytelling game, a very big, involved storytelling game where you can you're on a ship with 11 characters and you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll let you all make the decisions. We went through, we won, sort of. But what did you like about it?
Well, when you said that this game was big, that was kind of an understatement. This thing is huge. Like, we probably didn't get through maybe a quarter at most.
No, we didn't get through like a 10th.
That is true. Although I did like the story, how there are probably hundreds of side quests in there that you could do. We didn't do very many at all.
Yeah, but we did a lot. We had
It
a lot of fun.
was a little hard. Not really, though. Although you did have to constantly worry about dying almost every single battle you go through.
That's true.
Like, we had to go easy mode halfway through the game because it was so hard. Although it was a lot of fun to do.
All right, number 4, Sleeping Gods. All right, Violet, what's number 3 for you?
Also, Sleeping Gods.
But she
this
likes
number
it.
4?
No, it's her number 3. She's slightly higher
Oh,
than you.
yeah, she's first.
I really liked how many different options there was. They probably put a lot of time into this one game. I wonder
lot.
how on earth they did that.
Well, they had 3 people working on it, and they wrote all those stories.
Wow.
I know. Well, the one guy who designed the game, he also draws all the art, and he's the person who helps make the game, produce it, and everything. Also, he plays like multiple musical instruments.
Wow.
Shows how untalented both of us are. Anyway, the game itself was really
know.
enjoyable. I liked the characters and the different type of stuff we could do. Like, each of us had our own little special ability. I liked that we traveled around. You could do whatever you want, especially since the map's so huge. You probably would get to only like a few parts of it,
Right, so we could play it again,
like over.
and we would
over
see a
and over again.
completely different game.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
We would go a different direction, probably.
we would play this 10 times and maybe not get through the whole thing.
No way.
No.
We probably get
Fine.
maybe halfway.
All right, well, that's the first crossover, Sleeping Gods. What's your number 3?
Chronicles of Junagor.
All right, this did not make your list,
Really?
but I think you considered it in your top
Yeah.
9, I think. So Chronicles of Junagor is a big dungeon crawl where you're going through and fighting monsters, but you use a cube system, and you put these cubes to do different special abilities, and you get to level up as the game goes by, but then you roll dice like a d20. When you go to a new room, there's a door card. You open that card up, and it shows you what's in the next room. What'd you like about it?
I feel like the character designs were really good. The cube system is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of strategy in it, and I like how the board, I guess you could call it, they're on different levels. It's
Yeah?
very creative. I just think it looks good in general.
All right.
You probably like the fact that the acid kept hitting Daddy and he kept dying.
Oh, one thing that I did suck at the game was drawing the tiles out to place the darkness.
Yeah, you were pretty terrible at that. You should not
Like,
be allowed
the
to do
one
that.
time,
Yeah, but every time you drew the tile, it ended up hurting me.
yeah, like, whenever we were like, we need this 2 or something lower, I would draw the 6.
Did you like the story part of the game, where like they would show you a picture and it'd be like, what knob would you like to pull?
Oh, I felt like that one was too many choices. Like, way too many choices. Well,
It's also completely
again, too many
random.
choices.
Well, there
They
you
don't
go.
really tell you what to do. You
Yep.
just kind of have to guess. I kind of wish we could have 5 different choices because there's like 12.
All
we
right,
only
well,
get
that's
2 or what?
Chronicles of Drunagar, number 3. All right, what's your number 2?
Role player adventure.
out of curiosity, what's your number 2? Why are you looking?
I don't. Oh, Role Player Adventure.
It's the same one! Role Player Adventures, which I said we would finish, and we will. I was sick this week, and that's why we didn't play more of it. But we will. It's at home on the table.
He's stalling
I'm stalling for what?
to finish it, and then you're just gonna wait for us to forget. So
How am I going to forget? It was on the table. It's ready to go.
Okay.
Why do you like it? Either one.
Okay. I like the story part of the game, especially where you can go like any kind of like you can either be the bad guys, the good guys, and depending which side you choose, it would change the story a lot. Like,
It does, yeah.
So far, we're getting a little closer to Starlit Door. Our kingdom thing is like -3, I think.
Well, there's a reason for that. You let the Kingsguard die.
Shush.
we even let the king get captured somewhat.
Well, while
That's funny. They're being thrown in prison right now, and they both said when it happened, they're like, well, we deserve it.
we do kind of. We literally let monsters into the castle.
Yeah, it's not too big of a spoiler. All right, so do you like the dice part of it?
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like I like how you control it with the cards. It is a little lucky, but not really.
I find it quite annoying how we can only use one unless we pay stuff, but like it does seem fair if Ruby doesn't roll everything wrong.
So do you. Be quiet.
What do you mean? I roll better than you
do.
half the time.
No.
Ooh, I'm a better random person than you are. All right. Well, let's go to number 1 nows. Ruby, why don't you go first?
Nows.
Adventure Tactics.
And what's
Same.
yours? So both of them, when we went through, then I went through the list separately. Both of them, when we were going through the list, I said, okay, what do you think number 1 is? And before I got the word 1 out of my mouth, they both were like, Adventure Tactics. They didn't even hesitate. Like this was your easy number 1, and number 2 wasn't close to being number 1.
I mean, maybe, but like, I really, I love the art style and how like you progressively level up instead of being like, if you lost, you probably lose a level. Like,
It's
no,
actually
that'd be
very
horrible.
surprising how much we laugh during this game. Mainly at you always getting hit by a firewall or a wall in general.
Well, there's some things that you like. You like deck building, right?
Yes, and I love how you just
And so
changed
deck building, yeah, I changed the subject because not everything's about me getting killed. Do you know that Holly's currently painting the miniatures for this? So, in preparation for us finishing the campaign, which we will do.
I like the art styles. I like how like the effort that they probably put into some of the characters' personalities. I kind of wish that the story wasn't a bit like is a bit more complex than just hey, we're gonna go fight this demon queen.
Like halfway through,
And
I was
kill
like,
her.
why are we even fighting these people? And you had to tell me that
They're
we're
trying to
trying to
kidnap
figure
her.
out what the
They're trying to
child
kidnap
is.
her.
game itself is really good. It's a
Yes.
deck building game that after every battle, you get to level up. That's really fun.
The battles themselves
Yes.
are not impossible, but they're not so easy that you can just beat them within 30
I
minutes.
remember this one time they were asking for a skill check for like rangers and what am I, a animal tamer?
Yeah.
And I felt it was very convenient because the round before you convinced me to get a ranger.
Well, I didn't do that.
That was
because of
very
the group.
convenient.
I didn't convince you. I just was pointing out. There's so many classes. We haven't even seen half the stuff in the game. So lots of ways to level up. So there you go. They're number 1 for both of you. Adventure Tactics, Dominier's Tower. Alrighty, well that's the best of 2021 for you guys. We'll start playing 2022 games today. No, I'm kidding. We have other
not
things
even
to do
Christmas yet.
Yeah, but well, you can start from today. Every game you play is a possibility for next year because we actually played. After we did this last year, you played Adventure Tactics at the very end of last year.
That is true.
So, alrighty, well, let's keep going on. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
Is it me for? Okay, but I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
Have fun gaming.
Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying the Winter Spectacular so far. I'm here today to go through my top 10 games of the year. Now these are ones that have released in 2021, not just ones that I've played for the first time, and I'm basing this on what it says on Board Game Geek, so if you don't quite agree, well please don't blame me. Anyway, let's jump in to number 10. So my number 10 is The Crew Mission Deep Sea. It is very similar to the Quest for Planet 9 that released, maybe a year or 2 years ago now, but I do think it is an improvement on what was a very highly rated game. Why? Well, it's got the same awesome cooperative trick taking. Now, you are using these lovely brightly coloured cards. The artwork's okay on them. You're using these to make sure you win some tricks, lose some tricks, and I think that's always a brilliant part of a trick-taking game, when you're not necessarily wanting to win them. It has that co-op spin, but the original did all this. Now, the thing that makes this one different, and I'm going to just try and cycle through some of the pictures here, is the fact that it has these cards, which apparently are in German, but despite them being in German, you can read them quite easily, actually. Like, for instance, the middle one there is that you must win the pink 5 and the yellow 6. It's those cards that drive the missions. The missions will say stuff like to get, to do this. In the original, it was, you read the text, it slowed it down from this logbook thing, and it just meant that over time, it wasn't as quick and snappy as I'd like a trick-taking game to hit the table. With the new one, with Mission Deep Sea, you can shuffle all of these cards. This is a picture of like some of the cards there. You can shuffle them up on the back. It's sort of got the difficulty. You can just pull out a few, leave those in the box, and your next time you can pull out different ones, or you can shuffle them back in. I just think the card system took sort of what was a good but maybe a clunky system in Quest for Planet 9 and made the crew even better. So that is why it's my number 10. Number 9 is the only game on my list that I don't own, but I have had the privilege to play, and I think it maybe would be higher up this list if I had actually got a copy myself, because I'd get it to the table more. And it's Cartographer Heroes. Now, Cartographers I really, really enjoyed, and I think this only just adds to it. It's effectively new maps, slightly new cards, but then you have these heroes. Now, they don't completely and drastically change the game, but the examples here, if we have a look at Freya the True, or pretend I've pronounced that right, it allows you to add this hero onto your map somewhere, and that can actually take out some of the monsters. Now, remembering how the monsters work, there's some really useful positioning of these heroes. The monsters lose you points at the end of each round if they're not surrounded, which means you can use these to actually make sure they're not surrounded when you're drawing the monster on. And it just gets very interesting. I really like the fact that they don't completely change the game. It's much more of a more expansion in terms of it just adds that little more. It doesn't change the game. It is completely standalone, but you can use it with just cartographers or cartographer heroes and kind of slam them together a bit. I've really enjoyed it. I played it with the collector's edition a couple of times, and I think that is a stunning set that I'm really jealous of that I've not got. But Cartographer Heroes, it takes, again, a bit like I said with the crew, although with this one I think it's just more of that same goodness. And as you'll find out on this list, more of the same good isn't always bad. Anyway, my number 9, Cartographer Heroes. Great Plains is my number 8, and it is the only 2-player only game on my list this year. However, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It's an area control game that is super quick. Now, Board Game Geek here has it as 20 minutes, but even with teaching in a first game, I've had it go for like 15. We've definitely easily managed to fit sort of 2 games back to back in around half an hour. This is a stunning sort of small box game. The colours from the front cover actually transfer onto the pieces, and you can see here you've got the blue snakes and the orange foxes. Like I kind of hinted, the game hits the table and plays very quickly, because effectively on your turn you are placing one of those tribes people meeples out onto the board. You're trying to control the yellow areas, even though they're called grassland. It's yellow grass. You are trying to control those areas for the end of the game, scoring the points, basically. But if you go on the other green areas, you're going to get these animal tokens that you can trade in for special abilities, like being able to jump a little bit, or fly over a mountain, or even maybe squish or push the other person's piece off the board. Without those few extra powers, the game would be kind of a bit mundane and just one, putting pieces out slowly. But because of them, it just turns a nice, bright, friendly game, certainly with the bears, which are maybe pushing people off the board or into walls and squishing them. It turns it into what could be a fairly cutthroaty, really impactful, single turns game. And it does mean that, you know, every single turn counts. There could be a turn where you're like, there's not really a great place for me to go, but maybe I could line up and just sort of work my way round to ninja in on another sort of area for that end game scoring. And, well, this is pretty much what the board looks like at the end. It looks really interesting, and then it's like maybe 20 seconds of counting a few numbers up to work out who's won. So yeah, hits the table, you can teach it in seconds, and then just enjoy. And you're gonna want to play, I'd say, you know, maybe like a best of 3 with this one. It's not in the rules, but I feel like once you've played one and it's so short, you'll be like, rematch. My number 7 is Kemet Blood and Sand. Now, I didn't really look at this game or even pay attention to it when it was announced, which it sounds really bad for a game that's made my top 10. Well, that's because it kind of didn't interest me. I never played the original. I know a lot of people did and hyped it up, but it didn't feel like a game that I would maybe enjoy. And then at the UK Games Expo, I had a chance to sit down and demo it. And, well, just like these people here, they are very much enjoying it. I certainly found that to be the case. Unfortunately, my pieces aren't painted as excellent as this, but the miniatures are pretty cool and they do sort of add to the game. But it's the way the game is just constantly throwing pieces at each other. Now, this board is split up into regions, and like in any sort of fighting combat area control game, those regions are really important in terms of adjacencies. But in Kemet, well, you can almost teleport troops anywhere you want. Effectively, from your city, you can teleport troops for a cost to any obelisk on the board. There's a lot of them. They are dotted all the way across the board, which means pretty much at any time you have the opportunity, even if someone else controls that area, to just move troops from your city there and have a fight. And you are constantly having fights, respawning troops, having another fight, and really throwing it at each other. Now, there's only a couple of movements that you're allowed each round, so when you're doing that really is important. And the other aspect of the game that I really like is the card system that goes with the combat. So the way it works is everyone has the same deck. Now you might have upgrade tiles, but everyone's got the same deck of cards. Now when it comes to an attack or defense, you're going to be picking one of these cards, but you picking 2. One to use and one to discard, which means if someone's been picked on a lot and gone through a lot of battles, well, they've picked a lot of their good cards, or what they perceive as good cards, and maybe it's your chance to be able to swoop in and sort of crush them down. These miniatures then give sort of the tiles that they come with like bonuses. You've got a lot of plastic troops. Unfortunately, again, not pre-painted like this, but that would look absolutely amazing. And I can see why people would put the time and effort in to paint the miniatures to be this good, because it's just, you can have a lot of fun. This is one of the expansions that you can get. I don't think you need the expansion straight away though. You've got, unless you're playing with like the full player count, you're not always using all 4 of the different types of technology boards, the upgrades. Probably you're only using 3 of them, and that means the next game you take one out, put the other one in, and it's a different sort of dynamic, with maybe it being more on defensive or attacking and movement, or maybe they're just the units that you can buy, the special miniature units. They just change things up a little bit and allow awesome things to happen. It's all about getting to so many points. You can see when other players are getting near those points, and you can sort of put a target on them and everyone will charge them. And it's just literally combat from start to finish. So I really enjoyed Kemet Blood and Sand. Now, not every game on this list needs to be heavy, and that's why I've put this one on here, because we have really enjoyed playing Seven Wonders Architects. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Seven Wonders or Seven Wonders Duel for that sort of bit more crunchy experience. But there's something special to how easy it is to teach people Seven Wonders Architects. I can almost understand why Repos has done this. This is very much a family game, a perfect gateway game, because while most people will be alright with Seven Wonders, there is lots of symbols and iconography, and you need this and need that, and people can really stumble, and you can tell if someone's not played games, or at least the game before. With Seven Wonders Architects, it's all sort of boiled down, simmered down into a smaller package, but a package that really works. Just taking one of those wonder boxes out of the main box, building your unconstructed wonder, unconstructed side up. Let's try and see if we can get some pictures here. It's just, so here's one of the wonders that's fully complete, but you build it and all the pieces are on the table unconstructed, and you're slowly turning them over as you build it, and it looks great on the table. There's no rounds, the military is done slightly different, but there's still military. The coins are, there's not too much there, there's not keeping track of resources, and it's just generally a really... Oh, here we go. That's what a wonder looks like when it's not constructed, and you'll slowly turn like the bottom piece over when you've got 2 resources that don't match, for instance. It's very simple turns, because you're just choosing a card from your right, card from your left, or a card blindly from the middle. Now, it's not always blind. You can get the cat pawn, the cat token, and that allows you to have a cheeky peek. But will you still have it when it comes round to your turn? Will someone else have taken it off you? There's still the science, but it's not for points. It's more for getting progress tokens that can give you bonus points or bonus abilities. So there's still bits going on, but it's so quick and easy to explain. It's just a few different card types, and you can start playing. And they can maybe, once they've sort of done a couple of rounds, ask the questions on progress tokens, which are still there and needed to give the game some oomph. But yeah, it's a lot easier to get this one to the table, and it looks pretty damn nice. Okay, so this is the one out of the entire list that I think people might have a bit of an issue with. Ticket to Ride Europe in particular obviously has been out for a while, but the 15th anniversary edition only came out this year. Now, I thought, do I put it at the very bottom of the list? But when I was ordering things up, you know what? This is one of those games I've returned to over and over again. And this just takes it to the next level. Okay, it's kind of ludicrously expensive. Not as much as the Catan 3D set, but it's still very expensive for what it is. I have gone through and sort of seen how it works with some of the expansions, and it kind of does, but not properly. So there is that irritating bit. But it's still my number 5 this year, because every time I get the game to the table, it just it kind of fills me with that bit of extra joy. The gameplay is unaffected, apart from it does have all of this, the ticket cards that you could want in terms of from the expansion, like big cities and stuff. It's got all of that if you didn't have that before. But it's otherwise kind of the same game play, but from a visual point of view, the board is brighter, the carriages are just that bit nicer. They come in those metal tins, and well, even the card art, it's just that bit nicer, that bit sort of brighter. And it's just something about playing what is a simple game and having that really deluxe feeling. It's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people will probably be laughing at me for putting this, an anniversary edition, so high up on a game's release this year. But I think it deserves it, because it just attracts more people to playing it when I've got it. It's not just that train game. It's that stunning looking awesome train game. And, I've never really wanted to play as Brown in a board game before until now, when you can have sort of lumber on your train. I think that it looks epic. Those logs are awesome. I'm happy to play as Brown, although I'll still play as Blue because the cars are the best. My number 4 is a game that's come out relatively recently, and it is Micro Macro Crime City Full House. Now, the original was brilliant in my opinion. Is it a game? Is it an activity? It's Where's Wally Waldo plus, it's taking that finding things on a map to that next level, and pretty much this continues the trend. Now, one thing I found with the original was there was some questionable theming around some of the crimes going on for what they are advertising as sort of a potentially family friendly, or in this case 12 plus box. Now, I think they sort of missed the mark there, because it looks like it should be family friendly, and then there was people like flashing or drugs or obviously murder. Well, the new one goes some of the way to sort of rectifying that. It's got little parent icons and just sort of gives you a hint of, well, this is an okay one, maybe someone will get murdered, maybe this one has some drug references and stuff like that. It's not much, but at least they have addressed the problem. But just like the original, you can burn through those cases. And, this map is full of stunning details. I'm going to not show too many pictures of this one, because it will just ruin it when you actually play it. You get these case cards. It will tell you to locate something somewhere on the map. Once you've done that, it will ask you a question. And it's not a map. It's sort of a snapshot in times, because you can follow the person across the map as they've gone about their day, so you can work out where they went, where they've come from, maybe who was following them, and so much more. And that's how these cases unfold, and it's brilliant. It really is a game that you can just sit down, play a load of the cases. It's got problems. It's very hard to play upside down, so you can't have too many people crowding round a table. You kind of need to be on one side, but it's fun, and that's why it's here on the list, and that is Micro Macro Crime City Full House. It wouldn't be a top 10 list of mine, pretty much, if it didn't have a Phil Walker Harding game on it, and this year Llama Land came out. Now, some of his games haven't been brilliant. I love Bar and Park, which this takes some sort of definite heavy inspiration from. It's his own game. And then Gingerbread House, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and I think this rectifies some of the problems that I had with that game. So effectively you're going to be using these polyomino tiles to either build out or build up. Now when you're building up, you're gaining resources that you can then trade in to feed llamas. Those llamas are actual cards that score you points, but also you get a meeple, a llama meeple, nice and cute, and you get to put that somewhere on your board, which is then going to sort of cause a problem when you're trying to build up and around it, because it kind of gets in the way. Now, Why would you ever build out? Well, you're going to need to, because you can't just place one tile that's exactly the same shape over itself. So you're going to need to build out to have sort of areas you can build up. But also when you build out, you can put one of your score markers onto an objective. There is an advanced mode, but pretty much in the basic one, whoever gets to those first is going to get the most points if they manage it. Now that could be having a few llamas, so 2-3 llamas on a certain height, or it could be having a chain or a line of llamas. It could be having llamas certain distance apart, and that's where some of it feels like a bit like bar and park scoring comes into this sort of building up and across that was Gingerbread House. So it's not limited to a small area because you can build out, and I just find it all works. It's a really nice production. As you can see, the meeples, the little llama meeples, are really cool and cute. And then there's villagers, which can give you a little benefits you can do each round, so it's got just that little bit of something there to it. But the core puzzle of building up and trying to cover as many symbols to get as much resources on a single turn just really vibes with me. My number 2 this year is a game that Board Game Geek says came out in 2015, but the new version of Iki didn't. Now, I never got to play it originally, so I'm so glad that they chose to re-release this one. It's from Sorry We Are French, and well, it is a stunning production. This sort of colourful sort of artwork really is reflected into the board and onto the components, and well, it's generally an amazing rondel experience. You are effectively going into this marketplace here. You're kind of stuck there for the year, and each month you will move around it so many spaces. You'll be sort of vying for who chooses how many spaces on the rondel they move first, and then you move around that many spaces. There's ways like sandals that you can spend to move further, and you're going to be trying to buy fish, pipes, tobacco, and then maybe gain resources. You've got employees as well. So each stand has spaces behind them. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. So each space has a space behind it for an employee, which means when you go there, you can do the shop action and the employee action. But if that's not an employee that you've put there, well, it's going to level them up a little bit. It doesn't mean that their action is any better, but each round, each quarter, they get sort of like that player gets an income, and depending on the level of their employees, the more income they'll get. Do that too many times, and employees will actually retire, which means they don't even need to feed them, and they're getting this income. And there's so many different ways to win, from buying the different sets of things like the fish or the tobacco, or getting loads of employees and getting one of each type and colour, having different areas of the board having the same coloured type of employees, so all purple, and they'll score a harmony bonus. And then there is stuff like buildings that you can build. I've played games of this where no one has built a single building, and then in another everyone has built some, and maybe someone's even burnt down. And that is something you do need to contend with, because every now and again the fire, each quarter, not quite, but a few times throughout the game, not quite when the quarters are, there is a fire. You can make sure you're definitely fireproof effectively by moving up the fire tracker, or you can kind of risk it and hope that the fire doesn't come near you, or hide behind someone in where the fire could come from, and hope that someone else that can deal with it gets in front of it for you. And it just looks good, and it's one of those ones that once you've finished playing, going round the rondel, you're like, oh, if only I'd got earlier in the round and managed to get ahead and get that token. Oh, if only I'd done this, if only I'd done this, and then you want to play again. And that is why Iki is my number 2. And last but not least, my number 1 game that was released in 2021, and it goes to Railroad Inc. Challenge. And in particular, for me, Lush Green. Now, I have a lot of love for the original, the blazing red and the deep blue. I think out of those, the blue one's the better one, and I think the green one is the best one out of the new two. There's also Shining Yellow. Now, again, it feels like maybe like a 1.5 version. It's not quite a new game, a little bit like I said with Cartographer Heroes. It's kind of the same game, but with this, there is that little bit extra to it. Now, the challenge is what kind of makes it that better experience, although the Lush Green expansions are pretty damn awesome. So, these challenge cards effectively add in that extra oomph for you to do something early that might not necessarily be good for you. So, putting aside the symbols on the map that can trigger bonus actions, which is kind of cool but makes it slightly harder to teach, it's these challenges that are like, right, make sure you've put something in each of the 4 corners. Now, if you're doing that first, you're going to get more points than other people. And it's that sort of competition that drives you to do something suboptimally, that before there was no real care what you're doing on your board over there. And all of a sudden you're like, they're getting close to that objective. I think I need to do it this turn because I can. Or, you know, am I just screwing myself over? Should I be using that piece actually to connect that extra station? Oh, I don't know. And it's just that extra level of choice. Am I screwing myself over? Is it trying to force me to play suboptimally? Most of the time, yes it is. But that is something you're going to have to deal with, because you're going to lose the points in one place and gain them in another, and it's up to you as the player to determine where. It's not a huge amount of conflict or interaction, and I don't think this game needs that or wants that, but it's certainly got it because of the challenge cards. Now, why particular Lush Green? Well, the 2 expansions are really chalk and cheese. Forests is really small addition, quick, extra points for 2 blobs of forest. That's it, like, depending on how big their region is. So quick, so easy, basically a throw it always in expansion. Even with a brand new player you could. The other one, the Trails, whoa, that is a mind burner, a brain burner, a noodler, whatever you want to call it, because it basically adds these trails that go from the corners to other corners of the squares. And that means that you're not only caring if you have a track, a road, you're also caring, can you connect all of these trails up to score lots of extra points. And it's just that extra thing to think about that really, it slows the game down, but it makes it into a real thinky puzzle. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you really like the sort of the real puzzly aspect of Railroad Inc., wow, this doubles down, triples down on it. So it's, I'm going to say, I think out of the 4 sets, I think Lush Green has pipped Blue to the post. I think that's the one I would say, for me, is the best one. Okay, Blue is probably, Deep Blue is probably easier to get to the table with a brand new player, but because I've played them all so many times, it's Lush Green for me, and that means it has to be my #1 game of the year. And that wraps us up. I hope you've enjoyed the list. Let me know in the comment section below what would have made your top 10 games released in 2021 list that didn't make mine, and what was on mine that would never have seen the light of day on your list. Well, let us know in the comment section below. If you want to see more of me, you can check me out on Don't Be Bored, and enjoy the rest of the Winter Spectacular.
Hello, and thank you for coming by the Dice Tower. I am Camilla Claghorn, and today I'm going to bring you the top 10 games of 2021 with the best artwork. Now, with any top 10 list, this list is of course subjective. It is my personal preferences, but especially so when we're talking about art. I think art gets really stylistic and just really leans into your personal preferences. This list is no exception of that. I personally like art that is well integrated into the theme and really kind of smooth over some of the mechanics of the game. And I think you'll see that as we go through. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, at number 10, we have Canvas. Canvas is a game that the cards are clear acrylics, and throughout the game you end up stacking them on top of each other to create one big masterpiece, as it's called in the game. So each individual card is just a vignette or a small piece of the big picture that you're going to make. And I think that this is really a neat usage of art, but it's also very pretty. And what I found at multiple times during the game, as I'm going through, I would pick up one of these vignettes just to put it on my masterpiece, and I didn't score very well with it, so I didn't take it, but I was like, guys, look at this, it's so cool, because this hand is coming out of the ground, and this umbrella is floating away, and so it just kind of really creates good stories in it, and I love that. I love that art integration, and every vignette is unique, is individual, and has different flair to it, and so it's really, really pleasing to look at, but it really is that creation of art in it that I think that this does really well, and that's why it's on my number 10 for the year, Canvas. At number 9, we have Trails. If I had to use one word to describe Trails, I think I would say nostalgic. When I look at this art, it does give you that feeling of pulling up a memory from the past, where it has really bold, contrasting colors that are unblended in the artwork. And I love that. It just is very nostalgic. It feels like a memory that you pulled up, where it's not completely clear and lifelike, but it's not cartoon silly either. It's just very bold. I also considered summer camp here for this category, or this spot specifically, but ultimately I went with Trails because I thought it had a better range of what it's showing. It does have some different structures, some rock formations, the Aurora Borealis, some different trails, like hiking trails, in the forest and stuff like that it represents. So I really thought you got a good spectrum of that, but it really just feels nostalgic when you're looking at it, and I love it. So number 9 is Trails. At number 8, I have another game that is set in nature, but this one specifically is very lifelike, where Trails had that nostalgic feel with the contrasting colors and the really unblended lines. Subastral is lifelike, to the point that it really captured the warmth of those quiet moments when you're in nature. And it doesn't have a lot of unique art pieces in it. I want to say there's maybe 8, maybe 10 different cards in it, but each one is so different, but just warm. And there's one specifically that I think I stared at for like 10 minutes when I drew it, and it has this backdrop of a forest with a little bear walking in front, and you can see the light filtering through the trees and the Jacob's ladder from it, and it just really gave you that feeling that you woke up and you experienced something in nature, that very specific moment of time, that's frozen there in the picture. And I just love it. It's just warm, and it's very enchanting, I think is the word I would use for it. It's just enchanting. So my number 8 is Subastral. And at number 7, I have a game that is not a surprise to me at all that it made the list. It is Sleeping Gods. This game is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I think what I love about this game and what I find really unique in the artwork in this one is it's very lush, and it feels like a parallel universe. You look at it and it's enough like our own world that you relate to it. But it's just different enough that it captivates you and lures you into where you want to know more. Why is this different? I want to explore this world because it's enough like my world that I relate to it. But it's different enough, and I can't quite put my finger on why it's different, but you can tell it's different enough that you want to explore. So you look at the artwork deeper, more. You just find yourself encapsulated by this idea of just searching and exploring to find out all the nuances of this world that's created in the game. It's absolutely stunning on the table. You can spend hours just looking at it and really appreciating the artwork. It's absolutely, any single page of this is something I'd put on my wall. It's lush, it's alluring, and captivating. So number 7 is Sleeping Gods. And my number 6 is going to be genotype. Now, genotype is one where I spoke about in the intro, where I like art that's functional or kind of smooths over the mechanics of the game. And to me, that's what I love about genotype. It's not a specific piece of artwork where I would take and put it on the wall, for example, but it is one that just sells that theme and smooths over the mechanics. When you open up the board, you feel like you have opened up a scientific journal and you're seeing all the little workings of it and the little sketches. I love this. It's a beige theme done right, I think. But yeah, so it is, you are an assistant of Gregor Mendel, who's doing his scientific research on the pea plant for modern genetics, so you're working on pea plants. And again, smoothing over the mechanics. Each card individually has a pea plant on it, which is representative of the traits on the side that you're trying to develop and to research. And I love this. Again, this is not unique to this game, but it's just done so well in this game that it sells that theme, it smooths over the mechanics, and it's just absolutely brings the game to life because of the artwork. And I think that's unique, and I think that's something to touch on and that I really appreciate that it does, is I enjoy playing this game because of the artwork. And that's really unique to this game, I think, and I would absolutely take a look at it as genotype. For my number 5, I want to start off by reading 2 of the box descriptions for this game. The first one states that you can relax while enjoying this elegant game. And the second one says that you have joy in the abundance of nature. These 2 statements could not be more true about this game. I'm talking about Floriferous. Floriferous is a game where you are going through a flower garden and each individual card has a watercolor style picture of a different flower, and you are going through and ultimately trying to make set collections and that kind of stuff. But the game is just pleasing. At multiple times during the gameplay, when you set out the whole tableau, you know, and the choice at the beginning, we found ourselves when we were playing just taking a moment to kind of sigh and smile. There is just joy in this artwork. It is just very warm and endearing. It's like instantly endearing. And I found myself smiling because of this artwork at multiple times during the game. It just warmed my heart to play this game because of the art. And again, what more can you want? It was very, very pleasing to look at. I cannot recommend the artwork in Floriferous enough. And now we get to my top 4. I know the top 3 is usually like the cream of the crop, but I'm telling you, my top 4 were so difficult to do. These were agonizing, absolutely agonizing to order, and I probably reordered them 6 different times. And if you asked me tomorrow, I would give you a different order for them. These top 4, with the exception of my number 1. My number 1 is my number 1, but the other 3 could go in any order. I absolutely adore the artwork in these 3. So think of these top 4 more like 3 number 2s and 1 number 1. And with that, we have my number 4 is Ruination. This game was not even on my radar. I'd seen a picture of it online, and then one of the guys here in the office the other day brought it up, like, oh, hey, did you consider this game? And I was like, not really. I didn't. I haven't played it. I haven't seen it. And he's like, you should consider that. And I was like, all right, maybe. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to redo my list. I don't want to read it. So I didn't. And he's like, no, you should really consider that. And oh boy, am I glad I did. Ruination checks so many boxes for me. I love post-apocalyptic themes and feelings and the artwork. I love it. This game has it. I love sketches and real art mixed. So if you have artwork where it's like a rough sketch from someone's sketchbook, you know, where they're just kind of mapping out what they're going to do, integrated with actual artwork, not actual artwork, I'm sorry, but finished, completed artwork, when you have those 2 things together, I love it. Check. This game has it. I love darker themes that kind of walk that edgy line of being gore, but don't go gore because they use something other to keep it, some other technique to keep it from getting gory and bloody. This game has it. This game, what it does is it has those kind of edgy topics like that, but then it uses these bright colors. You know, you might have a bright, really saturated purple that's integrated into the artwork that keeps it from being too realistic, if you will. I love it. This artwork is everything that I like, and I couldn't talk enough about like this game could be drawn for me. I loved Ruination, and I think the artwork is just it the artwork keeps it from being gross. And I really like that. In the same vein of my number 4, my number 3 also could maybe get a little gory, gruesome, but it doesn't. But it handles that in a different way. So my number 3 is Vagrant Song, whereas Ruination used like some of that high color, pops of color, things to keep it from getting gory. Vagrant Song has a completely different kind of art where it is 1920s, I guess maybe Steamboat Willie, maybe you know it as Cuphead, kind of that artwork style. And in this game you are playing vagrants, so it's dealing with death. And and if I describe some of the artwork for you, for example, there's this cartoon character who doesn't have a head and there's a bone sticking out with some blood going down. Again, you can get pretty graphic pretty quickly, but this does it with that old time, again, that kind of nostalgic artwork. It handles it really well. And again, it has those colors. It's kind of a black and white grayscale artwork with this electric blue in it that makes it more ethereal and intriguing instead of being gory. So again, it handles that kind of edgy topic, but keeps it intriguing and relatable and not creepy. So I really love this. I've looked through the artwork multiple times and keep going back to it, is Vagrant Song. My number 2 is, again, a nature game. Do you see a theme here? I love nature. I love being outside. But I think what Meadow does is Meadow really does a good job of helping you see the little nuances, the little things that make being in nature unique. So it kind of focuses on those little minutiae, those little moments in nature. So in Meadow, there's a bunch of cards, and you're seeing a whole ecology or a whole ecosystem here. But it's really each individual card is focusing on one part of it. And it's done so beautifully and with such depth that you really feel like that one card is its own piece of art. But it still maintains that feeling of it's just a piece of a whole. And I love that. It just really helps you delight in the very little things that you come across in this meadow that you're going through. One card might just be the grass blades. One might be a butterfly. One might be a bird, but you can see the congruency between everything, but you really it also expresses the depth of that one piece of art. And it's so gorgeous with its watercolor and the wide array of colors. It's vibrant but soft, and I love the look of Meadow and what it can create with just a little snapshot. So my number 2 is Meadow. And my number 1 game of 2021 for best artwork has been my number 1 game of best artwork for 2021 since I made this list. It is the only game to not have changed positions, and I'm talking about Chronicles of Crime 2400. Now, I did at one point think about doing the whole Chronicles of Time series, so I could also talk about the 1400 because I love the artwork in that one. But I ultimately knew that I liked 2400 more, and so it is truly in the spot for this number 1, is the Chronicles of Crime 2400. It is so alive when you look at this artwork. It is, you can feel, you look at it and you just know that technology has surpassed well beyond what we can think of now, but integrated well with it. Like, we've integrated with it and we've grown with it. And I love that. You just feel that electric, that life and that adaptive nature. And if I think I would just say you look at this artwork and it's just empowering. You're like, wow, what we can do when we mesh these two together. And it's a little bit, again, I like that edgy feel with those bright colors. It's a limited color palette except for these electric blue colors and such. And I absolutely love it. I love the unique people that you see as you go through the game, the unique locations that you see as you go through the game. Just every time we get something new, I just take a moment and stare at it and just feel, again, that empowered nature, but also kind of that grungy feel that you get a lot of times with the post-apocalyptic. So I absolutely love this game. I want a cyborg Raven. If anyone can make that happen, hook me up, because that is now on my bucket list because of the artwork of this game. So for those reasons, my number 1 game for 2021 for best artwork, Chronicles of Crime 2400. And that'll do it. That is my top 10 for 2021 best artwork in games. Let me know down below, what did I forget? Maybe I didn't forget it and I considered it, but it didn't quite make the list. maybe I didn't like it. So I don't know. Let's have a discussion down below. And until then, I'm Camilla Cleghorn. Thanks for stopping by the Dice Tower.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Top 10 of 2021. This time we're going to be looking at games that are just a little bit different, off the beaten path, unique, quirky, oddballs, odd ducks, whatever you want to call them. This is 10 games that aren't my top 10 of the year or anything like that. These ones aren't in any of those, but I wanted to give these one special mention because I like when games do something different. So let's talk about them. Number 10 is going to be Merchant's Cove. While this wasn't my favorite game, I do like it. I do have a lot of fun with it, and I like that there's the asymmetric player powers and that there are such different ways to play your own little board and your own character. You come together in a central board. That middle part is fairly straightforward, which is why this is number 10. I don't think this is the most unique type of thing or anything, but I do appreciate that each time you play, you can be a different character and do a different type of mini game. And I think that that's a good touch. So my number 10, Merchant's Cove. Number 9 is a roll and write game called Riverside. Riverside is a game where you are a cruise ship, basically, moving along to these different kind of ports of call. And you're doing this interesting roll and write thing where you want to please guests and you want to make them happy, but you also want to take them out onto excursions, expeditions along the coast. And it's easier to do the ones close to where the ship is, and it's harder to do the ones further away, but you can really maximize that for the best payout. And so I think that's a fun little way to do a roll and write game where there's this central ship moving around to different ports in the middle. I like that part a lot. And number 8 is the game called 10. It's not my number 10. My number 8 is the number 10. 10 is a push your luck card game. I like these a lot. The type of game that you could almost, this one's a little more complicated. You could almost shuffle the deck of cards. That's the setup. Start flipping over cards and playing the game. This one has more going on to it, which is what I think is interesting, right? It is push your luck, set collection, but also has auctions and also has 2 different ways to bust, and it has a market of cards that you can purchase from after they've been busted and they go to the side. It's interesting. It's a little bit more complex than I was expecting, but it's more rules intensive, and teaching it's a little bit clunky, but once you play it, it's not complicated. And I think that's why I like this game a lot. So my number 8, 10. Number 7 is a game called Cubitos. This is a bag building, kind of almost like a deck building game, but with dice. And this has some of the best systems that I've seen for kind of managing your dice. You get to choose. You can have a little bit of a push your luck with re-rolls, and I like that. It's got a very quirky, odd look to it. I like that you're controlling these different animal powers and you're trying to race your critters across this map. I think overall this game is very fun. I like the decision points you have with it, but it also just feels like a strange one as you're explaining it and as you're playing it. It's not strange to a way that it makes it hard to play, but just strange in that this is a really unique kind of take on this bag building, dice building thing. Next up is Kabuto Sumo. Kabuto Sumo is the coin-pushing type game where you're trying to push your opponent's beetle off of the wrestling ring. Obviously, it's one of those games again. There's a few other coin-pusher type games out there, but I really like the theme of this one. I find this one to be particularly charming. I think that it has a very good look, Kwanche Moria art, and the theme is delightful and hilarious, and the gameplay tends to go pretty well if people are just going into it with a mindset of having a lot of fun. Number 5 is a game called Snakes! Extra S's at the end. Snakes is a social deduction trivia game. And so I'm one of those people that I've played enough social deduction games for the most part. I don't need another straightforward one, but I like ones that are kind of word game adjacent or trivia game adjacent. I like this idea that someone at the table knows what the answer to this question is, and then the other players are trying to answer this very difficult trivia question, just something that you won't intuit. You won't know intuitively, and so you have to try to answer it, and someone's kind of trying to, lead you along, and so you think this person sounds really confident, or maybe they're not, so we should choose a different answer than what they've done. Really strange little game, but you know what? I'm surprised that this one works. Number 4 is this is a deduction game. It's called A Little Wordy. A Little Wordy is a game where you have some tiles in front of you, 2-player game only. Each person creates a word secretly out of their tiles. They give the tiles to the other player, and the other player starts using these card powers in the middle of the table to play a little game of deduction and figure out what word the other person came up with. And it's really tricky. Every power that you activate gives your opponent a certain number of points, and so once you guess their word, you stop giving that person points, but whoever has the most points at the end of the round is the winner. I like this, the different powers that you can use. You can say, hey, what's the first letter? But that's going to cost me 3 points I'm giving to you. Or I could say, is this letter in there? It only costs me 1 point, and I have a strong binary yes-no answer from it, but it doesn't narrow things down a lot. This is a real game. I really liked it. So that's my number 4, a little wordy. Number 3 is Last Message. This is actually another kind of deduction style game. There's a map, and then there's two maps, and then there's a player screen down the middle. 2 players are on one side, and then the rest of the players are on the other side. One player is trying to get the opponents to guess which individual person in this giant Where's Waldo-like drawing, which one is them, and then the other person on that screen is working against them. And when the main person is giving clues to the other side, the counter agent is basically erasing certain number of boxes of clues. It's really tricky, but it's tricky for both sides, and so I really like this one. Quirky, strange little party game. My number 2 is a game called Hibachi. Hibachi is about, of course, the normal way that you run a kitchen is by trying to get ingredients and then cook them up and serve them to people. And you do that by throwing poker chips into different pots of resources. There's also pots of special actions, and you have to try and throw these poker chips onto it. Really cool game. Really, really weird little game, but I like it a lot. And then my number 1 game is Dive. What a great gimmick this one has. You have transparent sheets, different layers of them, and you're trying to guess about how many layers deep certain things are. You want to try and guess where they are. You want to avoid sharks. You want to use these transparencies and kind of just estimate, but you've got a good idea of how deep something may or may not be. I love gimmicks like that. I like transparencies in games. I think this one looks gorgeous, and so I think that this is just one of the coolest, quirkiest ideas out there. So that's my 10 just kind of unique games that I think deserve some shout out from 2021. My name's Chris. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, that's a nice big question. Games are, there's so many different ways to go with that. One answer that comes to mind that I think is important is that games are a really good way to explore your connection with other people. So as you play a game, you are able to interact with people within this framework of rules, which changes from games to game and change with situation to situation, and you get a chance to experiment with how best to sort of interact in this within this framework.
Why are games good? Games are good, clean fun. Depends who you're playing with, but they're a great excuse to gather people, even if it's a small group, even if it's just 2 people, even if it's 1 person. They're a great excuse to focus your mind, tune out everything else, tune out all the nonsense, have a shared purpose, and have a great time.
I really think the social contract in the ritual of what you do when you play these games makes people better people. And I even think that's true if the game is not competitive, not cooperative. It can be a competitive. It can even be a cutthroat game. It could even be thematically a war game or something like this. And I still think the people are better people because they came out and played the thing with each other.
Gaming is good for so many different reasons. I think that's what makes this question difficult to answer. It's good for the community building, for bringing families closer to each other, kindling friendships. It's good because it gives people something to do that's positive with their time and builds good memories. But also it's just good because it's something that you can be invested in. Too many people live lives where they don't have something to be invested into and to find joy from that. And I think that the gaming hobby is one of many hobbies that does so much good for people, because as you play, you're letting yourself have fun. You're letting yourself as an individual, regardless of the other people at the table, those schmucks, you are playing. And we don't play enough. We don't let ourselves run and skip and jump. And yet we can sit down with bits and bobs at a table, move some pieces around, flip some cards, roll dice, whatever it is, and we're allowed to play. And play is good for us. So why is gaming good? It's, like I said, it's good for so many reasons, but that's what I'm going to go with.
I think in general, gaming brings people together. If you're talking about board gaming, it brings people together without the mediation of screen, right? Like you're physically sitting together around the table. For me, I enjoy like the puzzly, thinky part of games as much as I do the social part of them. And they have, other aspects of them too, like the tactile nature we were talking about earlier. I think is very satisfying to people. There's a lot of different things going on when you're playing games that satisfy different people with different things that they care about, and so you can have someone who's a really social person and someone who's a really tactile person, but they play a game together and like they each get something out of it.
I think games present this this opportunity for you to sit around in a social space with other people, and connect with them over. It sort of like provides this context for conversation in many cases. We spend so much time connecting with our computers and doing things digitally that I think that has a way of disconnecting you from other people. And I think you can think of like these board games as being like a social lubricant, or a way of providing a context for people to interact with each other that's not confrontational necessarily. I mean, that's one thing that cooperative games are good at. But even competitive games, you're interacting together in a shared space, and what you do within that, quote, magic circle is protected, and it's a place where you can experiment both socially and also kind of work through different problems, and it's a place to be playful with other people and enjoy time with other people.
It's hard for me not to believe that gaming is good, because through it, I've met many of my dearest and closest friends that I have now. And I know this is a common answer. We know that playing board games brings people together. Do I think board gaming is the only hobby that brings people together? No, of course not. Books, movies, sports, there's lots of activities that bring people together and help them create bonding relationships. But I tell you something, board gaming puts you on a journey with the people you play with. Think about it. You're all agreeing to have fun, yes. But before you can have that fun, you first have to learn the language of the fun. The rules. You have to learn the rules to the game before you can even start playing. You're agreeing to work together. And then, if you want to play this one over here, you gotta learn a whole new language. And then again, and again, and again, and again. And also, you have to commit to caring at least a little bit about the outcome of what you're doing, because think about it, on the face of it, you're just pushing cardboard and plastic around. One could argue it's a rather meaningless activity, but you have to give it meaning, at least a little. And then, you go on an adventure together, and I don't care whether as players you're taking on a zombie apocalypse or playing the driest of dry mathy Euros, you're going on an adventure together. You aren't passively watching a movie or sports game, you are in the game with these other people. And how you treat each other in the highs and lows of that experience will tell you so much about whether or not this is someone you want to have in your life. Board games bring us together, and whether we want them to or not, they tend to reveal something about our personalities and innermost selves in our triumphs and defeats. I just had this thought. Board games are like friendship divining rods. They will help you find the people you want to spend more time with, and even some of the people you maybe don't want to spend so much more time with. They are just They have led me to so many great and meaningful relationships. I cannot help but think that board games are not just good, they're great.
So, gaming, the Olympic, so for many, many years, chess tried to become an Olympic sport. They tried to get chess in there. They said this is like serious stuff and all that. And it went on for, I don't know, quite a while. And finally, the Olympic Committee came back and said something that I think is going to be my answer. They said, the Olympics, as we know them, are physical sports. Chess is a mind sport. And I believe that the health of a person is based on the balance of their mind and their body. So if you just work that all the time and then just, watch reality TV, you'd probably lose, your IQ would drop by half over a year. I mean, I think it's just like eating, or if you just did something very cerebral, but you sat on the couch and you ate bonbons and became really fat, that would be bad. So either having your brain go, flat, or your stomach go big, either way, you're not going to be a healthy human through your lifetime. So I've always believed that I exercise vigorously. Even I'm 66 years old, and I'm within 8 pounds of when I graduated college, which was a long, long time ago, and I'm pretty strong, and that's kept me healthy, so my mind, and then I engage my mind, and I don't watch reality TV because I do find my IQ dropping, but on the other hand, I do read a great deal, I play games, I interact with people, so there's a social dimension of it. So games really are the mind sport that my physical sports need to balance my body. So that's why games are good in my mind.
Why is gaming good? Gaming isn't good, it's great. Why aren't more people doing this? Gaming is community, it's society. Look at the world we're living in right now. People don't talk to each other. People don't like each other. People can't agree about anything. And then we come together and we sit at a table for hours and we communicate and we collaborate and we talk and we discuss and we argue and we fight, but over a game. And this is society in miniature, and it's missing from our lives. And I wish more people knew about it and they could experience what I experience and what my gaming friends experience every time we sit down at the table and push minis across the board and move little wooden tokens and score points and yell at each other and curse each other out because they did the move that we wanted to do. But it doesn't mean anything in the end. But what it does mean is that we are spending time with other human beings in a space. We're not looking at our phones, we're not communicating virtually, we're not being more alienated from each other. And that's what's going on in the world right now. People are becoming detached from human interaction and connection, and board games make that happen. And games are just amazing. They're fun, and they provide an occasion for you to be human, and that's why games are good.
My favorite thing about gaming is the bridges that it builds and the safe space that it creates. You've got everyone at the table coming together to partake of something that can be nonverbal, and yet we are communicating, we are exchanging, we are getting to know one another, we are sharing something in almost an ethereal way that will help those players at the table get to know one another. But besides that, there's that idea of a safe space in which to explore themes we are interested in, and in which to explore, being competitive with one another. Again, in a safe environment where everyone is merely engaged in these parameters that they've been given, and they are going to try their best to achieve whatever goal has been laid out. So I like that about gaming. It's one of my favorite things, that you can have competition, you can have cooperation, you can have interesting, far-reaching ideas, and they're all right there on the table in front of you, and once that session is done, you can walk away from that knowing each other a little bit better, having experienced interesting things in a way that you cannot do outside of gaming. That's what I like about it.
Hi, I'm Julian.
And I'm Libby.
And we're from the YouTube channel Boxed Meeples.
We're often asked why we enjoy playing board games so much.
I used to play a lot of video games until the culture of video games changed and shifted to online play in a very toxic environment. One day I was strolling down the high street and I discovered a board game cafe, and I learned that I could experience those excitement and tension of a video game on a board. And for someone who spends 10 hours a day staring at screens, Getting a screen break at the end of the day and playing a board game is very appealing to me.
I really love the social element of board gaming, having your friends around and enjoying a great evening together. And I really love how each game immerses you in a different world. One evening you can be flying around the galaxy in Star Wars, and then the following evening you could be exploring a lost tomb in the lost ruins of Arnak. Such different experiences, such different puzzles to solve each game, just gives such a variety to this hobby.
I think gaming is good because of what it's given me over this last 10 years. It's given me countless wonderful nights and laughs. It's given me weekends with thousands of people who feel the same way about these things that I do. It's given me a creative outlet, and it's given me the chance to make a little bit of money talking about something I love, but fundamentally, the most important thing that these games have given me, and this is more valuable than anything you can think of, and that is a community, a group of people that I can lean on and I can rely on. It's given me some of my closest friends, and it's given me some of my most rewarding moments. Gaming is good because of all of you, and for that, you should be proud.
It's a really... I do like this question because I feel it's really easy to answer to me by saying because it provides an enjoyable experience, but I think that feels so empty as an answer in the same way, because there's a lot of things in life that provide enjoyable experiences, and life should be about having a good time. There are serious moments, but when you get to that last breath, you want to kind of look back and feel like you've enjoyed your life. But when you have that last breath, do you think back and say, is my life, was it good, was it bad? And depending on how short that breath is, maybe. But if you're lying in a hospital bed and you've got that last hour, you're gonna think back. And you're going to think back to memories. You're going to think back to when my kids were born. You're going to think back to, when I got married, when I finally got the dream job I wanted or bought that house. And I think that gaming offers the opportunity to provide an experience that you will always remember.
Because it has the potential to bring so many different types of people together, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, all sat around a gaming table playing Balderdash or Tapestry or Gloomhaven or Pandemic Year Zero. You can share something, just like being in a cinema, all enjoying the movie. I mean, if you were able to switch the lights on in a cinema halfway through the Marvel movie and look around, you wouldn't see just one demographic of person in that cinema. You would see, I think you'd be very surprised at the people who go and see those films. And it's the same with board games, that I think that they offer a channel for folks who wouldn't necessarily even be aware of each other to get together and enjoy something and find something that they have in common. I think that's where I find board games.
It adds not just another medium for us to experience, explore, enjoy, and think about our world, but an especially powerful one because it's dynamic. It's not just like watching a movie or reading a book where you get the same thing. You're creating the story yourself, but you're doing so within a framework, a model that somebody who has spent some time thinking about some complex affair has given you. And you're pulling the levers and operating the machine and observing what happens. And it gives us an ability to understand complex interactions that is unbeatable. I can't think of any way other than board games that are about something that we can as effectively understand complex dynamics.
And it's a great leveler. I kind of think,
some of the people I play, back in the UK, they think, right, so we sat around the table and there's somebody over there who's a consultant chess specialist, there's somebody there who collects dustbins, there's somebody that can, and nobody cares. Nobody cares about, what your status is. Nobody cares about your sexuality. Well, certainly was the case in the UK. I don't know about America, but people are just, it's very inclusive, I always found. So, and a safe environment. And I think that's possibly why it is attractive to some of those people you might argue are towards the edge of society, because I think gamers, in my experience, aren't judgmental.
Well, I think gaming is good because it fulfills two very primal human needs at the same time. One is the need to play. So I think all of us, no matter what age we are, we need to play. We need to do stuff that has no real world bearing, just to relax and unwind and remember that a lot of the stuff going on in the real world actually isn't the end game. That we can just also enjoy life and play. So I think that's really important. And I also think socialization and just people getting together and connecting is something we all need as well. So games do both of those at once. So I can't think of another form of entertainment that does that in the same way. So that's why games are so important to me, and why I feel like making them is a meaningful thing to do.
So guys, why are games good?
Well, I love the feel of sitting down and having like a cool puzzle and using my brain to do like cool strategic stuff.
And I love the player reaction. I like getting in other people's business, maybe kicking over a sandcastle or two.
Well, I would say games are good because of these guys right here. They suckered me into a podcast about board games. They're the reason that I look forward to game night every week, and I met them through board games. So that's why games are good.
Aw, no, our answer seems selfish.
Why is gaming good? Yeah, as I said, it's ultimately it's part of the human experience, right? Game and play is something that is so deeply ingrained in us, and it allows us to. It just factors into so much of the human experience.
I mean, personally, for me, gaming is really good fun. It gives me a job that I love, and I can do work that I never thought I'd be able to do. If just the scope and type of work, and have autonomy that I never thought I'd be able to have. So, from that respect, it's very good for me. But in general, I think it's good because it's a physical, mostly, again, usually, a physical, real-life, in-person activity.
Laughs, fun, trash talk at the table, playing with friends and doing mean things to them and seeing them crying, and it's just a game. I love interaction. I love all these games. Obviously, I play all types of games. I play war games, I play Euro games, I play Mr. Feld games, and everyone's games, right? But the ones that I enjoy the most is when we talk a lot. All these Resistance and Avalons and Bonanzas and all these games when I can talk a lot. You guys see that I talk a lot. And trash talk is a big part for me. So we play here in the office every Monday after hours. And this is the time when me and my employees suddenly are becoming just friends, the employees and the owner of the company, and we are just doing mean things to each other, and it's just super fun. So I love this interaction with just being with a bunch of the friends, have some fun, laugh, and the game itself, if you are playing El Grande or Cry Havoc or Kemet, it's not the most important. The most important is that I just attack him and he's losing and I'm laughing with my evil laugh, and it's amazing.
Man, gaming is for me an incredible opportunity to exercise every part of my right and left brain, my heart and my head. And when I was younger, I was probably more into some of the games that spoke to conflict and the chest beating and what adolescent boys and men do. Over the years I've grown away from, because there's so many other exciting parts. I mean, games about communication and empathy and teamwork, and games that just live in your head. Games. I'm currently playing 1,000 Year Vampire by Tim Hutchins, which is a solo journaling game. And most of that game happens when you're not playing it, because the story that you started telling just rattles around in your head. So there's so many places where thinking like a game designer or playing at the world are rewarding. And so for me, it's less what are games good for, and it's more games are a lens that I wear that really help shape and define the world and how I interact with it.
I think gaming is good, and I mean good in the most capital G way possible. Gaming as a moral good. Because I think it exposes players to a wide variety of different positions. And I mean that in the sense that when you play a game, you can have a really rotten game. You could have horrible things happen to you. And you can feel what that feels like. You can experience a different position of sympathy. And likewise, you can experience dramatic turns of fate. I mean, I think that sense of transportation in games, that it's almost like it's funny. I used to use a lot of literary theory when I talked about games, and I'm finding myself using more drama theory, and especially around theory around improvisation, because I think that in some ways games they're almost like improv games, where there are rules established, but the players are writing the script as they're performing it. And I think that sense of transportation is so critical.
Gaming isn't good. It's just throwing good money after bad. I'm surrounded by boxes that remain unplayed. Gaming's done that. That's gaming's fault. That's not my fault. You can't blame me. I will say that gaming has been the catalyst of every social experience I've had over the past 5 years. Friendships and experiences and all that. So I suppose that's fine, but that's really more me than gaming, right? I'm the hero in that story. I do think that opening a game kind of opens up a different world. You know how a book takes you places? I think games take you places. So I'll give you that one. I do enjoy that bit about it. But gaming, awful.
I think as we get older, we more and more get discouraged from having play involved in our life. It is something that is seen as potentially juvenile or not worthy of our time. We prioritize other things over play. And I understand that sometimes in a practical matter, you have to do that. But I love gaming. I think gaming is good because it gives us the opportunity to explore playfulness. And I think that is something that is really important. I don't particularly know why once you get out of childhood that you're no longer really given the free rein to explore play. I think it's something that is a disservice. So gaming is good because it reinforces and encourages a sense of play.
It brings people together. I'm of the opinion that people matter more than games, I mean, I love games, I love playing games, but, the people that I'm playing with matter. I mean, if you're a stranger we're playing games, I'm not going to pepper you with questions about your background. I might ask a couple, but, in a time where you can, where we selfishly, think about over the course of human history, that we can be so privileged to sit down and have these extended periods of leisure time where we can just engage in, a fictitious competition, and intellectual stimulation and recreation, all the reasons why we sit down at the table. If I can create a game that makes people want to have that experience at a table with other people, with friends or with strangers, I think that's amazing, and I feel really lucky and privileged to be able to do so.
Board gaming is good because it brings people together. I mean, really, there's thousands of reasons, and we can list them, education and all that. None of that matters. It brings people together, lets us socialize, and have a fun time. That's it.
I'm super lucky. I have 3 kids, 12, 10, and 7. The 12-year-old's getting a little bit too cool to hang out with dad, sometimes. But the 10 and 7-year-old, hey, do you want to play a game? Yes. And then that is intentional time. And so when you think about intentional time at this point in like modern society, even if we say, hey, let's sit down and watch a show together, maybe half the time people are like on the device, not even watching this. We have a device in front of the device, right?
Yeah.
And so board games just really it forces intentional time with whoever you're with, right? And so with my kids, that's priceless. So, yeah.
For me, gaming is good because it's only a question of relationship, in fact. You are not playing alone, even if it's possible to play alone, but we are making games to play with other people. And it's a way to improve this social network. For me, one of the reasons I'm creating games is because I'm shy. And creating games is a way for me, people coming to me. If you come to me, I'm not shy. But it will be impossible for me to go to you, in fact. So it's a question of social relationship. And someone better in 1 hour of gaming than in 1 year of conversation. Because when you play, you are yourself. You don't hide yourself under a character you want to show to the other people. So, no mask.
I can answer this very briefly, because it brings people together.
Thank you for watching this show. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've got any reasons why you think gaming is good, please put them down in the comments below. Have a wonderful holiday season, have a great new year, and hopefully we'll all get together in a room and play some games, because fundamentally, that's what it's all about. Thank you.